UST as dusk settled, a sharp knock. 3 quick raps sent a chill through me. My heart sank as I opened the door to find my father, rain streaming off his jacket. Maya, you're on your own. No spouse, no kids. This house is ours now, he declared. My brother, lurking behind him, flashed a smug grin. My mother stood clutching a box marked master bedroom. The same family that once cast me out into a downpour when I was penniless now demanded everything I'd earned. I didn't shout or weep. Instead, I met their gazes with calm resolve and reached for my phone. What unfolded next? They never saw it coming. I grew up in a sleepy Columbus, Ohio suburb, where neighbors mowed lawns on weekends and offered waves without truly seeing each other. My father, Thomas, managed an insurance branch, thriving on structure and authority. My mother, Linda, an accountant, obsessed over appearances, fresh bouquets on the table, coordinated holiday outfits, a polished facade of family warmth. Then there was Jason, my brother, 3 years my senior, the family's pride. His every move sparkled with potential, fueling my father's boasts at cookouts and my mother's photo-ready smiles. I was quieter, more cautious, sketching website designs on my ancient Dell laptop, crafting digital worlds no one would ever visit. I wasn't idle. I saw value in things money couldn't measure. At 16, while Jason jetted off to Myrtle Beach, I stacked shelves at Target, tucking every dollar into a coffee tin labeled college fund. I thought they'd admire my effort. Sunday dinners, roast chicken, green beans, came with my father's lectures on achievement. I still recall the evening I shared my dream of studying web design, rehearsing the words for days. Web design, my father echoed for pause midair. That's not a serious path, Maya. My mother chuckled gently. Darling, people like you end up scraping by as freelancers. Try finance, something solid. Jason smirked. Hope Target needs a website. Their laughter, warm yet cutting, filled the room. I forced a smile, hiding trembling hands beneath the table. That night, I tucked away my sketchbook and stared at my laptop's glow, vowing to prove them wrong. When I turned 18, they gifted Jason a shiny new Ford Fusion. My father handed me a card with $50. Buy something practical, he said. I spent it on a used design textbook for community college. Those first 2 years were grueling. Double shifts at a diner, late nights coding, coming home reeking of grease and burnt coffee, only to open my laptop again. No one checked on me. No one asked if I was okay. But my grandmother, Dorothy, called every Sunday from her small town across the state line. You've got your grandfather's grit, she'd say. Don't let them dim your light, sweetheart. While Jason vacationed in Cancun with my parents, I tended Grandma's garden, painted her fence, fixed her aging computer, and soaked in her stories of building her own home, brick by brick, after Grandpa's death. She taught me independence wasn't isolation, it was liberation. I graduated from State University at 22, no family cheering, just me clutching my diploma outside the registrar's office. That week, I landed a junior designer role at a small downtown agency. The pay wasn't grand, but it was mine. I sent my parents a card. I got the job with a photo of my secondhand desk, cluttered but lit by a cheap lamp. They never responded. Looking back, that photo marked when I truly left home. Not when I moved out, but when I stopped craving their approval. I still hoped family could evolve. I didn't yet know how far they'd go to prove me wrong. Jason's triumphs were the family's favorite tale, even when exaggerated. My father displayed a framed photo of him with the college dean, as if it sealed his fate. Every call, every holiday card from my parents boasted his latest feat. When I got promoted, I called to share. My mother, distracted, said, "That's nice, dear. Jason just got into an MBA program." Her pride in him stung more than her words. Jason never reached out unless he needed something. Fix my resume. Design a logo for my startup. I helped, hoping it meant connection. It didn't. The gap between us widened silently, like dust no one sweeps. At one Christmas visit, my father raised a glass to Jason, to the one carrying the Thompson name forward. Jason beamed. My mother whispered to him, "You've always been our star." They didn't know I heard. I told myself it didn't matter, but every detail screamed I was the spare. Jason's room remained a museum, Trophies, photos, medals, dusted weekly. Mine was now a storage closet. My name barely clung to the mailbox. I tried harder, thinking effort might earn love. I sent birthday gifts, helped with their taxes, drove 3 hours to fix their Wi-Fi. No one said thanks. My mother only noted Jason would have done it quicker. At 27, after 5 years at the agency, I had stability but still chased their validation. Then the company collapsed overnight. Locked doors, silent phones, no warning. My last paycheck bounced. I told myself it was temporary. Polished my portfolio. Applied everywhere, counted savings. But weeks passed. Rent loomed. My roommate left. The apartment echoed. The night before eviction, I sat amid boxes, my laptop glowing with unpaid bills, my phone showing 3 missed calls from my landlord. No one else. Desperate, I did what I swore I wouldn't, called home. Dad. I began, voice unsteady. I lost my job. I need help, a loan for rent. I'll repay you. He sighed heavily. Choices have consequences, Maya. You picked a dead-end field. Please, I whispered, just $2,000 for a month. My mother's voice cut in, sharp. We can't. We're funding Jason's MBA. Learn responsibility. The line died. I stared at my phone as rain began outside, soft then fierce. I drove to their house. Lights glowed. My father cracked the door, porch light on his face. Dad, just a few weeks, I pleaded. No, he said. You chose this. Deal with it. My mother appeared. Not now, Maya. The door shut. Rain soaked my coat as I stood frozen, breath clouding, bag clutched tight. I walked back to my car, trembling, numb. That was the last night I called them family. I spent a week living in my car behind a Walmart, heater failing, wrapped in a thin blanket, sleeping through delivery truck hums. I showered at a gym with a day pass, charged my phone at coffee shops. I told myself it was temporary, but each rejection email amplified the silence. One afternoon at Starbucks, hunched over job applications, a voice said, Maya? Carla, an old high school friend, stood there, her gaze softening at my disheveled state. Are you okay? I tried to lie, but tears came first. She didn't press. Come with me, she said. Her spare room felt like paradise, clean sheets, warm bed, coffee's aroma wafting in. The next day, she arranged an interview at her boyfriend David's design studio. He reviewed my portfolio. You've got a knack for detail. Start Monday. It wasn't flashy, but it was enough. I worked late, skipped meals, took every task. After months of shame, I felt useful again. 2 weeks in, David called me in. You're talented, he said, grinning. Let's raise your pay. For the first time in months, I breathed without guilt. Then a call came. Maya Thompson? This is Margaret, your grandmother's neighbor. Dorothy's in the hospital, serious. My world shrank. Grandma, my true family, had pneumonia. Carla drove me 3 hours to the hospital. Grandma looked frail under white sheets, her voice faint but firm. You came, she whispered. I tried to call, I said, holding her hand. I know, she smiled faintly. You always do. 3 days later, she handed me an envelope from her bedside. Keys, papers. The cottage is yours. Grandma don't, I said. I built that home to protect what matters. Now it's yours. She passed that night as I held her hand, a tea-the-will reading. My parents and Jason sat across, faces taut. The lawyer read, To my granddaughter, Maya Thompson, I leave my cottage in savings. Silence roared. My father stood. Unacceptable. That house is ours. The lawyer stayed calm. Dorothy's wishes are binding. My mother snapped. She manipulated her, my own daughter. I met her eyes. You never visited. I did. Jason muttered, You don't deserve it. I stood, pocketing the keys. Grandma thought I did. I walked out. By sunset, I stood at the cottage, faded paint, overgrown garden, dusty windows. It wasn't much, but it was mine. I stepped inside, whispering, I have a home. The cottage needed work, plumbing, paint, insulation, but I didn't mind. For the first time, I woke to silence that belonged to me. The floors creaked like a familiar tune. I painted walls soft cream, planted Grandma's favorite flowers, turned the spare room into a workspace. David let me work remotely. By night, I freelance for small businesses, a bakery, a bookstore, a lakeside hotel. Sleep was scarce, but mornings smelled of coffee and freedom. A year later, I launched Horizon Creative, named for Grandma's saying, "Look to the horizon, not the storm." Clients came by word of mouth. I didn't advertise. My work spoke louder than any family name. Ryan Anderson, the bookstore owner, walked in one Wednesday. "I need a rebrand," he said, half smiling, his handshake steady, eyes sincere. I redesigned his logo, revamped his site, and we never stopped talking. Work dinners became real ones. Months became years. Love found me when I wasn't searching. By 32, Horizon Creative had 3 employees and steady clients. I worked from the garage Ryan converted, gardened weekends, dined under Grandma's oak tree. My life wasn't grand, but it was complete. Then my phone buzzed. Jason, after 5 years' silence. "Hey, Maya. Heard your business is thriving. Let's reconnect." The word stung. I replied, "Fine. Saturday, just a visit." Saturday came, heavy with unease. Their car rolled up my gravel drive. My father stepped out, smiled too broad. My mother carried store-bought pastries. Jason wore sunglasses despite the clouds. They toured my home like appraisers. "You've done well," my mother said, her tone sweet but edged, for someone without a husband or kids. "Thanks," I said flatly. Lunch was tense until my father spoke. "This house is too big for one person. Seems wasteful." "What are you saying?" I asked. "We could move in," he said casually. "Your mother and I would take the master. Jason could use the office for his business." I set my fork down. "You're joking." Jason leaned back. "We're family, Maya. You owe us space." I laughed sharp. "Like I owed you when I begged for help and you left me in the rain?" My father's face hardened. "That was different." "No," I said, "it wasn't." I stood, trembling but firm. "Get out." My mother tried. "You're emotional." "We just want to help." "Get out." They left, stiff and smiling, but my father's eyes hinted it wasn't over. 3 weeks later, at a Chicago design conference with Ryan, I got a text from Margaret. "Maya, people are at your house, carrying boxes inside." My heart froze. I checked my Ring app, my father prying the lock, my mother behind him, Jason with suitcases. They moved in like it was theirs. I called Jason. "What are you doing?" "Moving in," he said plainly. "It's a family home. You're alone. No husband, no kids. You don't need it. You broke in. We have rights. Try stopping us, we'll contest the will." My hand shook, but my voice held. "Try me." We drove 4 hours home. My house looked foreign, curtains drawn, lights on, their cars in the drive. Inside, my photos were gone, replaced with theirs. My clothes were boxed. My father turned, calm. "You weren't supposed to be back yet." "It's done." I scanned the room, pulse steadying. "Is it?" He crossed his arms. "We're taking this house. You can't stop us." I smiled faintly, reaching for my phone. "One call," I said softly. I dialed 911, calm as ice. "My family broke into my house," I told the dispatcher. "I have video proof." Within 20 minutes, police cars arrived, lights flashing on wet pavement. My father feigned confusion. "It's a misunderstanding. We're her family." I held up my phone. "Family doesn't use a crowbar." The Ring footage played, my father breaking the lock, Jason with boxes, my mother stepping in. The latches snap echoed. The officers' faces turned stern. 30 minutes to pack," one said. "Or you're arrested for breaking and entering." My mother's eyes teared. "We have nowhere to go." "Not my problem," I said, voice steady. They scrambled, grabbing belongings, yelling. Jason cursed. My father insisted we built this family. I stood silent by the door. Rain fell softly, like the night they abandoned me. The officer handed me a report number. "You did the right thing, ma'am." The door clicked shut. The house was mine again. I exhaled, seeing scuffed floors, crooked frames, rain-streaked windows. It felt safer than ever. Later, police confirmed charges, breaking and entering, trespassing. My father and Jason pleaded guilty, got suspended sentences, probation, and a restraining order keeping them 500 feet away. Justice didn't shout, it murmured. In that quiet, I found peace. Months later, the garden bloomed vividly. I built a swing under Grandma's oak. One evening, as Ryan cooked, my phone rang, an unknown number. Maya, my mother's voice quavered. I heard you're married, expecting. I'm proud of you. I paused, then said softly, thank you. The call ended. I looked at the fading sky. The rain that once broke me now nurtured all I'd built.